Hi, I'm Jennifer from Manhattan Public Library, and Raina Telgemeier is one of my favorite authors, so I wanted to tell you a little bit today about some of her books. The first one came out in 2010. It's called Smile. Hopefully a lot of you have read this. Then she had a follow-up book called Sisters. This one happened when Raina was about 12 years old and is about some dental trauma that she had. And maybe some of you have been to the orthodontist a lot. Maybe you've gotten braces. And Raina just had a really hard time with her teeth, lots of problems. So that really made an impact on her life. And then in Sisters, she's about 14 years old, and she goes on a vacation with her mom and her little sister and little brother. And it's kind of about that long journey that they took together in the car, and the things that siblings go through. They're both great, very entertaining stories, and they are taken from her own childhood. There's one other one that came out just a couple of years ago called Guts. If you have not read Guts yet, this is probably my favorite one because I think it's so easy to identify with these feelings that Raina, when she was younger, 4th and 5th grade, she started having some anxiety and her stomach would get upset over things, and she had some kind of fears that were brewing a lot in her mind. And this is a story about kind of how she got through that. And so all three of them are great. But what I'm going to do is show you a couple things from Smile. And after I'm done talking, there's a really great video of Raina explaining some things about her comic art. And one thing that she uses a lot is called emanata. I don't know if you can see on this picture here, but emanata is when emotions are sort of spilling out of a character. They're outside of the character. So here she's brushing her teeth and it's very painful. And you can see these like stars coming out of her mouth where she's saying ouch, like when you get in a cartoon, if you get bonked on the head and there are stars going over your head. Same idea. Here's another example. So this is when she's kind of likes one of the boys in her school, and you can see that there are some hearts emanating off of her. So it's another way to show emotions that are happening to a character. I'm going to read a short bit from the beginning, not too much because I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't read this yet. But this is right after Raina's finished her club meeting with some of her friends, and another mother is dropping all of the girls off. An hour later, and at our next meeting, we'll be making Easter baskets. See you then. Bye. Is it okay if I drop you off first, Raina? Sure. Kelly, you and Melissa walk Raina to her porch, okay? Race, you guys! Last one to the porch is a rotten egg. Wait up! Kelly! Grab, stumble, trip. Ha-ha! Gasp. Wham! Missed me! Raina? Hands, legs, nothing broken, cool. Raina? Ow. Are you okay? Ah! Oh my gosh. What happened? Go get her mom, quick. It's okay, honey. It's going to be okay. My teeth. Huh? Ah, grab. My tooth. Honey, oh my goodness. We've got one tooth. Anybody find the other? I don't see it. Nope, nothing here. Daddy, what's going on? Your sister's had an accident. Try and go back to sleep, okay? And the mom's calling the dentist. Milk, you put a tooth in milk. Sure, 20 minutes. We'll be right there. Bye. Hey, Mom. I look like I'm 6 again. She's in shock. And then a little bit later, her dad comes by. Raina, I dropped by your school to pick up your homework, and Mr. Cruz sent this along too. Thanks, Dad. Smile. There's a card signed by all of her classmates. Yeah, right, she says. So, Raina has lost both of her front teeth. What will happen? A little trivia fact for you: when Raina Telgemeier first wrote Smile, she did it as a web comic. So she published just a little strip or page of the story each week, and you had to come back every week to find out what happened next. And she did that for a long time and got a lot of followers before she decided to compile it all into a book. So now I have a little challenge for you, thinking about, maybe there's something that's happened in your life that you could write your own graphic novel about. So we gave you some handouts in a bag if you got to pick up a craft bag here. And if not, you can download these online from Scholastic. Okay, so this first page is kind of asking some questions all about you, like, where do you live? Have you ever lived anywhere else? What 3 words describe you best? And then think of a time when you were really proud of yourself, or think of a time when you were scared or embarrassed by something. So trying to see if there's some situations in your own life that maybe you could write and draw about. There's a page where you can draw some pictures, and we're going to also show some videos of different graphic novel authors and illustrators drawing things. And there's a lot of great drawing videos and drawing books that you can find for help with that. And then you can write, because you kind of need to write down some things about that story. And you can decide which parts to keep in and which parts to not put in. And then finally, this is where you start planning out how it might look as a graphic novel, and deciding which parts of the story you're going to do pictures of. And you'll notice in the story Smile, sometimes there's pictures with no words. It's just showing what's happening in the situation with the actions of the illustrations. And sometimes a word might take up almost a whole panel and be a really big portion of it. So sometimes you see that where there's like, wow, and it's really big, and there's lots of things emanating out of that wow. So that's also something you can learn about, how to do the lettering if you want to try different lettering for a comic book. Lots of different things that you can try. And we hope that you will give it a try. And just remember, as you're writing or as you're drawing, nothing is final. You can always decide that you don't want to do that part, or maybe you want to do it differently, do it over, because this is your creation and you can do that. You can make it how you want. So next I have a little video of Raina Telgemeier talking about the Emenata that we discussed, and also one of her talking about her latest novel, Guts, because I think you'll find it very interesting to hear her talk about her childhood experience and how she was able to write about that.